Okay, abusua makwa abashonko so ereba POG Media so. Abusua suspended Chief Justice Torkornoo wakofa asem abre no ho papa. Na enka mami enkodi kan resign ya enka we nyina ensina kwan. Sisi ano eye Alestane Mugabe ensem bi aba betudwa ye ba be redraw eye suspended Chief Justice ni military ni security personnel every nechi omo bono ho ban woni fie security bia odi nechi bia sisi ano ye redraw eye sa security for ni nyina every ne side enye asem keto akra mom yenko na yenkonko tie ensem a ekoso ewo political highway ne so unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma for so ensa into me and kabi POG Media so madam ase
Mrs. Ruby Brown, me area mu. Mrs. Ruby Brown.
More fire.
Sister, she goes home tomorrow. Wow, 84 years. Wow,
more fire.
And Engineer Brown, the wife.
More fire.
Kaneshi, you know, be and say,
yeah,
Mugabe. Show in some way, Chief Justice, you know, I suspending now. Akakakra in the middle of investigations. Akakakra, your baby. I bet Pamono. One who some waba public to come and
fire.
Court public sentiments. She would not get it. She's here to court public sympathies. She would not get it.
Now, a contempt.
Yes, it's a contempt of the committee's sitting because it's supposed to be in camera and nothing is supposed to be. Yes, the DPR Bontimba. Now, no, as you, the person who is being reviewed, who are here, useless, who are Pia Babonti, who see Nimra. On some catcher say, on no need no kayeno. The law is the law, no. Not too many crano.
Yes. And now there are 2 minutes in the sun.
And I make sure say, if the law is the law, who kita law now protecting law? You also must be checked. So one says, see, I know. Then they said the law is the law because it ended with her. But now it is beyond her. The law is the law is the law. See, I know and
she's not better than those.
I'm saying that I know the principles not the buy no. Etunasi. Because to me, just time tells the story. Mugabe, Emreka cry to him, ya, you who know TV so not on a John Mahama Kasawa baby. National names and you see, yes, look at her memes that she expressed on national television. Yesterday, I tried to see her face. How she's troubled. So, the electrify no. The law is an electricity.
The law is what?
It's an electricity.
Yeah, more fire.
What do you say? One can hear more fire. Protective clobia. A bit shocking.
My uncle come.
And I'm shocking. No. Who do you see? Obi. You free you go see law. What's it 38 years? Bonche. The law is the law. The law is the law. The law is the law.
More fire.
Third one actually.
Yes.
1 year.
1 year.
Or maybe JM.
Any baby no.
No.
The time so.
When na. When you marking court 2 o'clock. By 5 no I am panel. When
12 and
by 2 no I am panel.
Yes 1 year. Anyway.
Time tells a story. I'm saying time tells a story. She should show me where our eyes. You now need a press conference to do what?
To do what?
In the middle of your investigation.
What are they saying for?
I don't know.
And who should listen to?
No, maybe the 3.8% that's addressing. Nobody will listen to me. Obi. The law is the law is the law. Third one. Third participant.
Where are your first half?
And
the way you do so when
we want to hear the voices of reason. They must rise above her discord. And then speak up because she wants to spill the law because she's in trouble and she has lost it. And no
one is above the
nobody is allowed. You call someone prison where who doctor no where who no. There be the law or no so. When you are someone who about Hobino, Abbas,
Gabas.
Yes, no. When who former headmaster, assistant
Dr. Chembua,
when Dr. Salome. So, yeah, Papa, let me referee the Kwame I'm body there. Sorry,
I was such a
MBA finance graduate. More fire. They have been to prison and back.
Dan Agbodapi.
Yes. No, a diversity implementation committee. Yesterday, they demonstrated her egoistic, arrogant, her
Yeah, no, say, security near the for one who
Mugabe, all they may bow.
No, it shouldn't be.
Look at what she talks about.
No,
she talks about the position as Chief Justice. Me as Chief Justice. 6 feet at last. Who are there now? They call. Who are Chief Justice for Ghana? And I'm going to Chief Justice.
Chief Justice for my
and it must get to you clear. To pension emoluments are out. Emma Unsem. And you are not the first person as Chief Justice who has been removed. If you don't know, let me remind you. Justice Akuffo, are you any better person than that man? Yes. Kwame Nkrumah removed him when he failed to sentence the people who were
Akuffo.
Yes, Akuffo.
So social studies and
Mugabe, I did all together. Fantastic. I know Akuffo. I know the grandson who is a lawyer, a competent lawyer.
Who is a Chief Justice. Yes, it is. Where your first time, man, you're a Chief Justice.
It cannot be true. She comes from Winnipeg. Akuffo comes from Winnipeg. Akuffo comes from Winnipeg. She should know
the same place.
Yes, where she comes from.
Thank you.
Akuffo was removed.
Say
Akuffo.
Fantastic.
I know the grandson. I'm saying he's an effective lawyer in town today.
More fire.
Giving many people legal services.
Give it to
Highly
them.
intelligent person. And look, the reason for the in-camera hearing, you have broken it. The Article 146(2), you are in breach of the 1992 Constitution, madam. You are in breach of it. You have come to tell us the story as pertains in the in-camera hearing. We don't want to listen. The state does not want us to listen. That is why the state shelved it from us in this article. And there's a reason to it. You have broken the trust of the people. Quoting public sentiments. Yes. Now, your certain committee, in the middle of it. Who challenge committee? Look at the hatred and venom coming from your mouth against Gabriel, Palmwine, Scott. What? I mean, the chairman of the committee. Look at how the words that came out of your mouth to describe
useless statement.
To describe Gabriel Palmwine Scott. How and why? That's hatred. And then one of your vilifiers, I say so because you call them vilifiers, Daniel Ofori, who has a case against you. That man, look at the words you used to describe him. Mami pa officer ubro bi so. And you've got to do a press conference.
What?
This is what I call press theatrics. Theatrics of the press. Me yesterday I didn't watch. Me you do share. If I like we be come dum TV no. Boy mamu ni ade, dum TV am so onu ni
nonsense. Doesn't make sense.
Emre times has really told the story. Bokabi, look, this is a clear case of what I call a brazen orgy of a facade to cut public sentiments. Na nie we ono ka so tim na na se o se be bia di na du no, e di na nusuo no mu. What say kura wo da nsuo ma o pray biom. Nti na wie ya ba. Nti so pray. No, do be she's platting onto straws on high oceans. Waka. Yes, you know. It's Mugabe. 146 na. 146 na. Yes, that's it. This a lot of 146 na. James are so prepared. We see 146 na. James are boss my any appear. Mugabe. Yesterday it was a cacophony of unredeemed noises coming from that Torkornoo woman. Tell her that I said so. So the law is the law. She's nobody. Is the law. She's nobody. She has been caught up in suspended. Yes. Quiet. You called those times. Be quiet. That there were cacophony of noises. Be quiet. Today, Madam, House of Folk, you must be quiet and don't be silly. Madam Torkornoo, listen. Fantastic. The law is ahead of you. Yes. You rather went to learn the law. So the law is far ahead of you, and there are people who know the law better than you. You are put in your position not based on merit, but by political partisan coloration. And today it is clear. You sit with those people who appointed you at your press conference. They are the people who are running around you. A former attorney general is your lawyer. So everybody has seen your partisan coloration. Indeed, you could not be Chief Justice. Indeed, you cannot be Chief Justice as a partisan as you have demonstrated even in recent times. So your suspension
spoke about
you will never come back.
About the judges.
That's Mugabe. That's what I want to tell you.
Shocked. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Listen, Mugabe. Anybody who wants to clutch onto that history is a wicked person. Because you're not the one who was killed. You're not the one. Kojoje Japan was killed. FP Sarkodie was killed. And Justice Addo. And then Major Aqua, he was Colonel, he was dropped to later to Major Aqua. in the army because of the involvements near in trying to overthrow a champion's government. That's what I heard. Mugabe, as some way see under Article Law 15 of the PNDC law, they set up a committee quickly, a special investigations board, and do a Justice Azukrab, Samuel Azukrab. If you know his name in legal history, go and find out. He was the former Chief Justice of Ghana. He was made to head the Special Investigations Board to oversee the trouble that had come. It was on 3rd July that Rawlings 1982 was briefed. Quickly, when they set up the board, investigations started. And don't think that we don't know the history. People were arrested and brought before the court. Yes, you have Lance Corporal America and Lance Corporal Michael Senya, and then you have Johnny Jandu and Tony Teko, and then Joaquim Amatekwe. These 5 people were brought and tried in the competent tribunal and sentenced to death. In the middle of the trial, America ran away. You can check in 1983, June 1983, breakout from this. He managed to run away. He ran away with Johnny Jandu and Tony Teko, but they were rearrested and brought back. But America got away. So those people were sentenced, and even when they were sentenced, former President Rawlings went to Joaquim Amatekwe to hear his last words because of certain allegations that were going on around certain individuals that were close to Rawlings. I don't want to say this thing, but Mugabe, when Captain Kojo Chikata was about to pass on, he made a comment on air. He made a comment in the media that assembly they are telling me very painful comment, and I still share those sympathies. That somebody who knew nothing about it. So Rawlings went to where Amatekwe was to find out from him finally what the true story was, and indeed people were indeed sent to prison. People were shot. Amatekwe was killed by firing squad. So Mugabe, assembling in SCA, the SIB sat, they had their investigations, they prosecuted, and people were executed. It's 45 years or 44 years down the line when the judges were murdered. Why would anybody at this time try to clutch onto those straws? It's because they have belonged to that school of thought for a long time, and nobody has questioned them. The family of those affected, they must question this woman. You call up a Deuce Lodge, a horror center. A Deuce Lodge is part of the state's hotels commission. Go and find the state hotels and catering rest house. It was part of it, and up until today, it's close to the castle. That's where we host, our big presidents who you don't need to take them to the hotel. You understand? You have a vista, big vista that you. So a Deuce Lodge is not a trial center. Even your courts, you Madam Torkornoo, your courts that you presided over. When you get to Ghana courts, you are terrified. You enter any court and you have a matter with somebody, especially if it is criminal. You are terrified. Even your court environment, you couldn't change it. You are coming to tell us that a Deuce Lodge is what? You are talking about your uncle. You want to play on your uncle's death. And let me tell you something. I'll say it here now. Nobody hates
the time is now.
The time is now. Joaquim Amatekwe, he was the personnel manager for Gihawk. Joaquim, what's his name? Major Samakwa was the personnel manager for Gihawk. And at the time, Gihawk
give us the history.
They had gone on demonstration led by Joaquim Amatekwe, and they were sacked. They ransacked Parliament of 5th June 1980, and they were all sacked. They went to court several times. So who sacked them? It was you, Samakwa, who sacked them. Then lo and behold, December 1981, there's a military coup. This guy also gets power. But we have common sense and logic, and we listen. So that's exactly what we have been talking about. Well, see, that's why there's a case of a contempt, but the High Court will have to. So she's contempt of the committee's proceedings. That's why the court, a High Court, now one will say we betray committee, baby, venue near this, so the security is exposed. So you know what you do. You know what you do to her first. Take her security from her. She has exposed the venue, and she has exposed. She's mentioned the name. Yes, she has mentioned the name of Daniel Fori, one of the witnesses, and mentioned the name of Gabriel Scott Panwine repeatedly. So you rather take her security away from her and let her feel the way she wants others to feel. Fantastic. And continue the case.
This woman is useless.
Yes,
and we shouldn't allow her to get nearer.
Yeah.
To that judiciary.
Suspended.
She's nobody.
No, not at all.
No, she's nobody.
6 feet.
But no,
does he
read at all?
Who
commissioned Addo's Lodge?
Is it not Nanado? Nanado never refurbish or not commission here. So if it's a horror,
so
and then Nanado never do horror now. She made a mistake in alluding to the
educate her.
30th June 1982, madam. It's not 30th June 1981. You are in a rush. And why do you want to clutch on that history? If your uncle was involved, are you your uncle? Are you your uncle? Do you know what? You think America, those in this smoke who went to pick the people up, you think they just went at gunpoint and they said, come and pass? I'm not tricking them. Say you 2 Rollins. They have sacked Rollins. They have moved Rollins from where he is. So they need them to come and rationalize the state. So they even where they were at that position, they were coerced to follow up. One year two OBI see the power won't pay. I'm telling you, that's why one of the judges at that day he managed to run away. Justice at that day go and find out the High Court judge, he managed to run away when those people came because Mukachire say, open power. Now there na mo pako DH because who fear no yire. Why would you leave at that time in the middle of the night when you know there's a curfew? When people are looking for you, you're a senior person in the society. Why should you know there's a curfew in town? NOPA. There are some who catch a bit of hold on. Or catch any say no, stay behind. I'll go with them. Then you catch an here in the day do mochi. Sana, remember no so come fear they told their wives to stay back. Then you catch them. You catch them say 2 Rollins ago. So they knew those lawyers. I'm telling you, I spoke to a military person. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but the American, I want to tell that part of the law. That part of the law. Say lawyers now. You want to hang on to this murder of the judges. You don't want to change the judiciary too. And you don't want the judiciary to represent the people's interest. Yes. Now only mediate. But I mediate the only. And then 26 June. And then 46 years I call farm for free. Ebe kuom wateshi enu de yankan wasem na Addo jubilated on that day 46 years ago. He drank wine oboya onumunsa he drank allegedly. Yes. Napa see your Akuffo. People were shot. Champon was shot 10 days earlier, and then those people were free far was brought all the way. 46 exactly. I don't know why you brought me here today. 26 June. I don't know why. Today is exactly 46 years, and I want to remind everybody. I'm not part of your panel.
But did you ask me to bring you?
No.
But the angels.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sir, they should know. And they should understand.
Why you are that is why you
time indeed tells the story.
You are the deputy CEO.
Thank you. I take it. I take it. Yes.
Tobo. Yenti ensemodi kan editu dwano.
Sir.
Okekan ye ni ade you do yenti.
Yenti kakra.
First one.
Fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here today to commission the renovated A.L. Addo Diplomatic Lodge, a facility that embodies the generosity, vision, and patriotism of one of Ghana's finest sons, Mr. Amishadai Larson Addo, A.L. Addo, as he was popularly known. Today, as we reflect on this exceptional project, we celebrate not only the physical edifice before us, but also the values and legacy of a man who dedicated his life to public service and diplomacy. Mr. A.L. Addo's contributions to Ghana and the international community serve as an enduring reminder of what one individual, guided by a sense of duty and love for his or her nation, can achieve. Mr. A.L. Addo was a trailblazer, a man who walked with humility and yet left indelible footprints. His service to the nation is a reflection of his belief that diplomacy is not just a profession, but also a calling to bridge divides, foster understanding, and create lasting change. His work reminds us all of the power of service, and his life is an example for this and future generations of Ghanaians to emulate. Ladies and gentlemen, this lodge is a gateway to possibilities. It has been designed to accommodate Ghanaian and foreign diplomats alike that can shape the future of Ghana and indeed of the world. With its 15 presidential suites, advanced meeting facilities, and cutting-edge translation services, it stands as a beacon of Ghana's commitment to fostering collaboration and addressing global challenges.
Thank you. Alisa.
Mugabe. Emi yao Madam Torkornoo. Wabe tinasi testimonize.
Baby ose wanyano.
Eho enyano. Papa Akuffo Addo de adwuma ma wo. Twesen ya all commission all camfo.
Listen, there be amekacho say be circumspect in your report.
Yes, that's it.
Do your checks and balance.
That's it.
Into Okasa.
Yeah.
Okasa with evidence.
Yeah,
evidence
that's it.
based. That is true journalism.
Ma say Amishadai last in Edu, Edu, whose name stands on the lodge, is a public servant to Ghana and a diplomat par excellence with humility and the kind of diplomacy that brought lasting change to our diplomatic terrain. That's Addo describing Edu, and the lodge has 15 presidential suites, and a host of what? Big rooms, what you call lounges, to host conferences for even hundreds of people. Yes, air conditioned, recently renovated place. Near Duwako baby, suitable say Usia slot. That's why I said that it is wrong for her to clutch onto that history and even to allegate that people planned in a Deuce Lodge to murder anybody. Does she have evidence? The Special Investigations Board under Azukra, they reviewed all that they had. And I'm saying they sentenced people. America was sentenced in absentia. Tony Tekpo was sentenced in absentia. Johnny Jandu, Amate Kwe, and Michael Senya, all of them. And you see, what pains me is that sometimes I look at these people and the family of these people who were murdered. They must do something to prevent even the Ghana Bar Association or even that Supreme Court from using their names again. Drag too much 44 years. They be on back sorry them you call it. Why na Jesus cano? Ya the man will be so for. Akwalada na onu for na ni maami ya didn't call ya abducting the car hono. Obi the sike be free sorry them or their caution mama. I want to ask Kobre Japan. Oh my you be boa mu pen na. They should stop using the franchise. Kobre Japan can. People would they don't can want some sir. On why they hurting the family? I Japan crown to me by NDC. Now
Mrs. Redrawn Imoro Ayana. Also, as I say, the suspended Chief Justice was did herself no favors by holding the press conference.
Deeper now Abonidin Redrawn Imoro Ayana. Unimni papa. Big politician in Ghana. Hey, Alaji Imoro Ayana. Ask a neighbor, yes. In the 79 elections. Very big financier of the PNB.
I feel very pained that a woman that she is, that we all in this country as women have always advocated for more women to be in government structures, more women to hold leadership positions. And then I'm asking, so at the end of the day, assuming that Torkornoo is kicked out, okay, assuming that the recommendation is that she's no longer Chief Justice, and she decides that she wants to take up maybe a position in another international organization, because we've had other people go and do other things after they've left their offices. Who would she be expecting to give her those recommendations? Because your country has to recommend you.
Indeed.
At least say something nice about you for other countries too. So if you go making it look like there's a political agenda, getting onto the government, would you expect the government to be able to give you that recommendation that you are a patriot of this country and that you are somebody that people can rely on and that you're loyal, you have integrity and all that? So she should be thinking of those things. And as much as she wants to get her bites, she should also know that there is a tomorrow. She's still a very young woman. She can hold all forms of positions, and she will need people to vouch for her sometimes in those situations. So
fantastic one. But yeah, my men were on maybe what I'm seeing this afternoon from the angels, the 900 million angels. Jane Mason will follow her. Bossman will join them, and Apiahino will join them. Yes.
Mugabe.
One to me, Odin Chineboto 1,000. You go to someone? No.
Mugabe, 146 na.
But Mamisa.
Mami Okasa Eon. Najimudo. When you so Onyakwala, she's about 77, if I'm right. She's nearing 80. Yes. When you maybe senior bride is 72, into Mami will be 77 or thereabout. When you see me senior bride.
No, yeah, Papa, the last born. Right?
Yes, I think the last born or the last Oba or very rich man. You more Ayana. You mentioned the name in Ghana.
The Ayana family.
Yes, very big woman of the CPP slot. Mugabe, the woman, the Chief Justice, she must be submissive. She must learn to go through the process.
Who didn't tell you?
Show remorse. Mugabe, you don't court on. Yet he said Munti Asemno. at any MP anchor your press conference. That's what I'm saying. That yes, so they said we should keep quiet, submit ourselves to the process until the process was over and we're sentenced. What you say? I don't know the only process because in the middle of the sea, then you are contempt of process.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pebu.
Yeah, hey. Benefit Martin Pebu, professor of law. That's why I said the voices of reason.
Number one, her press conference exceeded the boundaries set in law, which is that when proceedings such as the Article 146 proceedings are pending, we are not allowed to comment on the merits, and leak and disclose what's going on. So it went way beyond the prescription of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court says, and also in Article 146 Clause 8, that the proceedings are held in camera. They are supposed to be secretive so that it will help protect the whole system, the judiciary, and also the person facing the trial, in this case, the Chief Justice. So we'll look for Article 146 Clause 8, we'll read it. But in the meantime, that's why I've paraphrased. Then also, there are a number of Supreme Court decisions where the same point was made, that we should observe the secrecy, right? So you have the Justice Paul Derry versus Anas Tiger PI, right? That's 2015-2016 Supreme Court of Ghana law reports. The Supreme Court held so that no, don't disclose such proceedings, and that if somebody did like what Chief Justice has done, that person opens him or herself up to. So the Supreme Court says when things like this happen, the committee can report or refer these events to the High Court, so that the High Court can deal with the contempt, because the committee is not a court, so they don't have powers of contempt. And even there are some courts which don't also even have powers of contempt, like the District Court and Circuit Court. When I say powers of contempt, I mean civil contempt. There's some type of contempt the court can, the District Court and the Circuit Court can deal with, but not every type. So the point is that what she's done, she's opened herself up. Of course, practically, because of the office she occupied, not many people may say the case should be taken to the High Court for contempt, not at this moment. But you see, she would have eroded a lot of the respect, okay? But I'm sure she did her calculations and saw that, look, she would want to erode some respect in order to bring to the fore things that should be done, reforms, etc., to make the system better. I'm sure that calculation, she's done it, and she's saying that she would rather go out, because he said he who is down fears no fall. Because already what has happened.
Yeah. We're too much. Unless are we lawyers?
But the law near the free fee, you go see law.
Okay, I was now winning and some also our political highway. So a year suspended Chief Justice and the securities are just a born and by a winning fee in a year by Redrawn. Winning and some course, but I must say, Moje Penecoco teaser and some way at my aha a POG Media. So, Madam, I say.